surprise, although I did like what our analysts were talking about in the draft, where it didn't seem like they had a good answer to the Orianna. And if you don't have a good answer for Orianna in game number 1 of Fearless in this current meta, you will not win the game.
Yeah, typically the answer we've seen into Orianna is this phase, where you just actually ban it. So, didn't opt to go for that. Vayne being banned very early on, trying to deny that from Kingen, who had a pretty phenomenal game on the Camille. They ban Syndra. They really want Ryze first pick. That says to me, I imagine that'll just get banned. And yep, it follows pace there. But this does mean a lot of the picks that were taken out last draft already, Vi, Nocturne, Lucian, all still available. Poppy gets banned. I think they're trying to tee up a Vi ban, and then they can get their hands on Lucian or Nocturne, to be honest. I think that's what they're trying to... You ban the Syndra, so they ban Ryze. You ban the Poppy, so they ban Vi, I think is the theory they're going for here. But they ban the Lucian instead. So denying that away from Taeyoon. And I think that does leave Raptor to pick up the Vi here, but they can answer with the Nocturne at least. So... But then again, I feel like a big reason for the Nocturne ban in the last game was didn't want to pair it paired with the Orianna. It's a pick we've sometimes seen banned and high priored and sometimes just kind of let to slip through.
Yeah, I mean, the other big pick with Nocturne is Lulu, of course. So if you want to go for that, you can just pick this and then pick Nocturne on 3. So really love the setup that they are going for. Could have also tried to opt for like some kind of like Nocturne Nico, but Nico's definitely fallen off. And they get a strong bottom duo by just picking it here. That does leave Ezreal available for Taeyoon, and Ezreal Karma will be the answer.
Tough lane to play into, especially with the trading patterns, because it's all poke, and Yunara really wants the extended trades, and realistically, Taeyoon and Kellin will just never opt into that. It is going to be that Nocturne to pair up with the Lulu, so strong team fight, strong dive from Nongshim here, but I think there's good answers from BNK FEARX. You know, the Vi does a good job of locking down the Yunara, and Ezreal Karma is going to make lane difficult. This is not a free game for Diable here.
Yeah. It's not going to be as... nothing's going to be as perfect as game 1.
Yeah.
Where, you know, they have 17 different dive threats. But at least they have, a good setup for now.
A comp that we saw work to great effect yesterday and was really popular in the LPL right now is Vi, Rumble, Ahri on the top side. So I wonder if Nongshim will start to trim away some of those pairings, because it just kind of gives you such a strong team fight, such a strong dive threat. And honestly, it was what BNK FEARX were playing, I think it was in like 2025 or maybe 2024, where they had that decent run. I think it was, I can't remember which year specifically, but they had a great run on the back of a composition with that top side. We see the Annie banned away from Scout here, a pick that, VicLa's lent on pretty heavily.
I mean, VicLa loves his Ahri, and Clear definitely played a lot of Rumble, especially early on in his career. I think it would be a good idea to at least take away one of those picks if you are Nongshim, or at least look to steal one away.
I mean, it's interesting that we saw the Cassante ban, because maybe Kingen is potentially setting up to pick the Rumble himself. We know it's a pick he's very comfortable on, but there's also like Olaf available, Ambessa available, and they did just ban Renekton. So, and we also know that Ambessa can do pretty good into Rumble. Olaf is going to ban from BNK FEARX. Both Ahri and Rumble still available, and BNK FEARX could well look to get their hands on those. See what Nongshim go for here. And it is just going to be that Ambessa, so kind of telegraphing it with the Renekton. And it does make it a little bit more awkward if Clay wants to take the Rumble here.
Nasus?
We've discussed this so much, but I'm not going to talk about it until it gets locked in.
Yeah. You guys did a lot of teeing up yesterday.
Only to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Ahri.
It's just going to be Ahri Rumble. I mean, if you do pick Rumble into Ambessa, it's not the most fun time, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's a very playable matchup.
Yeah.
The composition works pretty well. So, looks like BNK FEARX kind of returning to that style of composition they played before, and that is really popular right now. And now for Nongshim, into specifically...
Lysandra?
I think Lysandra angle is pretty good. Like, the Annie was banned, and Lysandra fills a similar role in terms of being able to lock down the Ahri, having that reliable CC, also hard to die. But instead, they go for the Locke here.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've seen the Locke struggle recently. This is going to be, last game we had the explosive Nongshim composition. Both comps, I feel like there's going to be a lot of explosive aspects to them, right? We have like the Nocturne, Ambessa engage. We have potential for scout resets. But on the other side, I think BNK FEARX, you have a strong bot lane. Ahri is going to be fine in this matchup. Rumble, even though Ambessa does well when she gets level 6, and her Eclipse, is going to be fine. And I think the team comp for BNK FEARX is so straightforward in fights. We saw them struggle last game when Nongshim could just run them down, target the AD carry. This time they have an Ezreal much harder to pick apart, and they have the tools to just go forward.
Yeah, I feel like the Locke in this case very much win more. Like they have a lot of ways to go in, a lot of follow-up, and the Locke can just throw an ult over the top and potentially get some stuff going. But if you're behind, I don't feel like you have all that much pressure with a comp like this. I mean, you still have that pick potential with the Nocturne Lulu, but yeah, I'm not so sure. I think there are a lot of ways for this comp of BNK FEARX to get away. And, they don't have the Lissandra for defensive capability against the really nice pick of the Ahri, Vi, and the Rumble. But we'll see how it plays out. Nongshim looked great in game number 1. Maybe it's BNK's turn in game 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, game number 2. And again, if you lose this best of 5, you're out. Those are the stakes. And Sponge, I think he's going to be okay. He's got Scout nearby, but
yeah,
looks a little scary.
Can't really do too much more than that, especially because he shot the Q the wrong way, and obviously gives movement speed when you're on it. So normally you shoot it and then run along it. So this is the point of pain, I feel like, really, for Nongshim. It's this bot lane matchup. Ezreal Karma, very powerful from level 1.
Yeah.
But Diable is getting his passive stacked up on the wave. If you can find a window where they miss their skill shots and you aggress, you get the heavy trade out. You can do well.
It's kind of like Kaisa-esque in that way, where it's like you can go for these very aggressive, almost all-in trades. Speaking of which, Scout has Ignite. VicLa does not. And it's level 2 first. VicLa, I think you should be very careful in this scenario. Scout, he had this very nice game of Orianna in game number 1. He wasn't necessarily the main character, but he did have 24 stacks of Magi's at a very important time in the game. So, trying to relive that kind of insane amount of power that he had in game number 1 with the Locke here. But I'm not sure if he's going to have an easy way to get fed in this game.
I mean, he's got a lot of pressure in lane already, and the kill threat when he has Ignite and the Electrocute and just like the 3 nails into that empowered damage, it's a very real risk that VicLa dies when he gets to low HP at this sort of level, so he has to be so careful.
So Raptor is going to be spotted here by Sponge. So Sponge is just going to go ahead and start the red buff. He has Smite available. I think he just gets it before Raptor even realizes what's going on. And he has so much pressure from mid that Sponge doesn't feel like he's in any threat to do this. Just moves in, takes the red. Raptor's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, Kingen has the 80 prio, Scout has the 80 prio. Yeah. It's not something we've typically seen with the Locke. We've tended to see it's more of a Weather the Storm sort of pick, but Scout finding some good early trades. It's only really bot lane that is suffering right now for Nongshim.
Yeah. And I feel like they knew they were going to run straight into this, especially, I mean, it is Ezreal, and it's also Taeyoon. I mean, he loves his Ezreal. So many of our AD carries here in the LCK love their Ezreal.
So Kellin actually tried to pull the wave, so it pushed backwards, and Lehends used picks on him, which gives vision. So the minions followed him into the brush and kind of messed it up. So they had to stay and clear another wave.
Whoa. Support mechanics?
Yeah, it was actually pretty nice from Lehends to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
And now Diable's back in the lane with a Cole, able to pick up that wave pretty handily. Raptor's trying to challenge here.
Yeah, he is going to flash. Nice try here from Sponge, but the follow is just there with the Locke as the shield comes in, but he's still dead. His first blood. Raptor, I know it's your name, but it's just the Raptors.
Yeah, this was too aggressive. I think the aspect he was factoring in was, it's a Nocturne. How much threat is a Nocturne pre-6? For the Locke with Ignite, is always going to be very relevant in these early skirmishes. And he's thinking, I've got mid-prio, I can go here. Scout just abandons it, lands the nails there, and then he ends up having to flash and dash away. Scout chases him, even with the shield, it's not enough. And although it looked like Scout was low, the gray health just gives him that extra buffer so he can survive.
Yeah, and he gets back for the full wave. I think he did accidentally burst the cannon down and miss it, but it's fine. Gets the XP. We do have a root here onto Lehends, as this lane still doesn't look fun, but Diable, he knows what he's in for. I mean, he goes back, he picks up a call, and I'm sure he's going to be fine. I don't think they're going to fall too far behind here.
I mean, he's doing okay so far.
Yeah.
And the call does give extra sustain as well, so obviously you're picking up because it's got that good value, a very efficient item, but the sustain really does help in a lane like this. And he has a refillable on top of that. Got a pretty comfortable spot.
So Sponge, he was able to save most of his Raptors, and wow, that's a lot of damage though.
Yeah.
Diable not having fun still. But Sponge's gonna hit level 6 kinda soon. We'll see if he gets it. He's not quite gonna get it from those two camps on the top side, but I do want to see where he goes first.
Vic was roaming down here, and it's made Diable and Lehends in such an uncomfortable position. He's committing the ult. They want to go for this play.
I mean, the wave isn't there, though. Not yet. They are going to try to get in as VicLa not able to get the kill on Lehends, but he lands the charm, and that does set up Taeyoon to get the kill. Very much on the edge there, but they do get the job done.
Yeah, honestly, really nicely played by VicLa. Like, he commits the ult. He's like, I want to go for the play. The setup doesn't look ideal, but the fadeaway charm catches Lehends off guard, and he does get a kill there. I think it would have been pretty bad if he wasn't getting anything out of this roam and bit his ult. But we see when he goes in, so he Qs through Lehends, and then he ults to reposition the way back and just gets this like fadeaway charm. And Lehends had flash, didn't see it coming. He flashes the charm, he lives, but the commit is there from Taeyoon as well to clean up. And we do see Scout picking up, I think he got a couple of plates there. So if he'd come back to lane with no ult and Scout had taken those plates, it would have been pretty dire.
Yeah, and Sponge, he does hit level 6. He's actually going to move over and challenge the Drake here. Raptor actually started it up, and this is on Vision, but see that BNK FEARX are just going to give it away. This is an early Ocean Drake.
Yeah, you cannot tango with Sponge. Not only has the advantage.
Oh, we're just going in. Kingen's looking for the kill. The Equalizer, I don't think even hit him, as I don't think he really has kill pressure, but he's putting on a bunch of damage on the clear at least.
Going for a heavy trade, has a Hex Drinker now, which makes it very difficult to all in return. And Sponge now has the level 6, but didn't even have upgraded Smite when he was doing that Dragon, so just could not contest Sponge with ult, with the upgraded Smite at all.
Yeah, that does kind of keep happening. This time on the other side. And, I mean, this is part of why Kingen did pick the blind Ambessa before they locked in Locke last. It's just, he kind of knew this rumble was coming, and if it wasn't, I mean, they already banned the Renekton for safety, and then Olaf was banned by BNK FEARX as well. As they went pretty far down the lane here, the Fear is going to land onto Taeyoon, who does not have flash. That is a kill from Sponge. He will not be able to kill Kellin, though. As a nice little setup here in the bot lane gets them a kill. Yeah,
nicely played there by Nongshim, and Taeyoon bidding his flash earlier to get the kill onto Lehends. Ends up costing him. Nice pickup there from Sponge. And we'll see the replay here. So Kellin ends up going aggressive here in this moment. And it's when the channel of the ult comes through, Lehends walks up, polymorphs him, and it means it's so easy to get that fear off, keep Taeyoon in range of the tether. Really nicely played there by Lehends and Sponge to pick that exact timing. Ezreal not the easiest champion to gank.
Yeah, it's a really good look, I would say, because ganking the Ahri is rough. I mean, top lane you can go for the Rumble, but he's kind of being pushed in, and Ambessa a little bit conditional about, you know, the follow-up and the setup and stuff. So you just look for the Ezreal, of course. It is very much kind of against the grain of normal thinking, but as you mentioned, a lot of conditionals that make it possible. And Taeyoon is still ahead, about 200 gold, but all Nocturne have to do is get this Yunara through lane, and I think they're going to be happy with the setup they have for these team fights. Their Locke is already doing pretty well. Scout hasn't run away with a lead.
That's a big thing for me, though, because we've seen so many scouts, so many Locks just be kind of inactive in lane, not really ever get the value of the pick. But the fact that Scouts already had this early pressure is good. Now, they are trying to set up for a play here. They'll get damage onto the tower, but the move down by Sponge and Scout will make them hesitant to press anymore. I say, but they just wait long enough.
Yeah, just
Sponge doesn't quite have
stick around, as they are going to go in on a Diable. That is Ahri, and that is Vi. The Wild Growth comes through, and Diable, no way for him to get away without the flash, as they think they're safe, but BNK FEARX wait for long enough.
Sponge's ult was down in that passage of play, and I think they kind of shirked the initial effort from BNK FEARX. Like, okay, we're safe, you're fine, moving back to lane, moving back to farming, and BNK FEARX just fully committed and end up getting a good amount of favor. Taeyoon, in particular, has been the main beneficiary of these plays from BNK FEARX, and has a decent lead now in the bot lane. I mean, this is why Vi was always so popular into Yunara specifically, and she's obviously popular in general, but when Yunara came on the scene and was super broken, Vi was a big answer, because you just do that. Not much counterplay.
Yeah. Especially with the Ahri, that will always be able to follow up. It doesn't matter how far you dash away. Ahri will always be able to follow up and dash, and then, of course, charm onto an immobile target. Most of the time does land. And, yeah, VicLa's Ahri has always been very strong, so I'm sure he's having a fun time in this game. Top lane we've looked at a lot, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of farm fest up there. The Ambessa's first item is going to be delayed because of the Hex Drinker, but eventually she gets there.
It's more exciting than the typical like tank vs tank matchup where nothing happens, but it's just more exciting, but nothing still has ended up happening in this matchup specifically. Very even, a lot of trading, then they just kind of reset and heal back up.
Yeah.
Now, though, Nocturne are making the counterplay on the bot lane that we just saw before. They'll get Diable access to the tower. He's going to pick up some plates. This is a window where Raptor and VicLa are resetting for their one-item spikes, and those are really strong one-item spikes. So it looks like Nocturne not going to press it anymore. And it will help close the difference between the 80 carries in terms of gold. Nocturne pretty patient with the play.
Yeah, just opening up a little bit of time. We do have the second Drake on the map now, and this is one that BNK FEARX can try to fight for if the setup is good. One item spikes you mentioned, ults are online, and really it's just about going for the correct target. We got TPs for both top laners available, but we do not see either team actually commit to the objective just yet.
Yes. Scout, by the way, just got his upgraded boots, but doesn't own any boots.
Yeah.
They're not benefiting from that right now. I feel like a reset to pick that up would be pretty valuable.
VicLa probably also
Both junglers are down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, trying to set something up here as Kellin might be in a bit of trouble. They do go in on the Ezreal. Sponge in a bit of trouble himself, has to flash. Both top laners TPing into this fight as Sponge is like, where do I go? I'm not sure. As the follow-up comes in and Sponge is in a bit of trouble against the wall. They do take him down as Clear is burning everyone under the turret. So much damage comes out from that Rumble as Raptor goes super deep, but it pays off as they do get a couple more picks, and that's a triple kill for VicLa's Ahri.
The cleanup is there. Clear makes a massive impact in this fight. And the thing is, VicLa was able to TP there. Scout had to walk. He was very late. And BNK FEARX showing why they prioritized this composition, even though it was very clear that Nocturne knew it was coming with the Ambessa pickup. They're like, it's just good. We're going to pick this comp. We're going to make it work. The initial engage is a little scrappy from both sides. But Clear comes in and just starts absolutely melting. Equalizer comes down. He's got his heat up. Just starts torching the backline. And meanwhile, VicLa is just free to fly around the fight. Scout gets here now and immediately gets exhausted. And then just gets rooted by Kellin and dies. So,
yeah,
you know, we've had this issue with Locke, especially since the nerfs, where he's in a game, doesn't have the most impact, and kind of is just like a cannon minion. Hasn't been able to really have that big impact this game yet. So we'll see if that changes. But right now, VicLa 4-0-2 on the Ahri. very strong.
He has 10 stacks on his Darksteel. I mean, there is a world where if they get ahead enough, he just builds an early mid-dies, and this game is just Ahri dominated. It's not going to be a fun time, and you can see that BNK FEARX's bottom lane, they just move mid after they take the bot turret, and they're continuing to put on a lot of pressure, but it is the mid diff in terms of gold. That's the biggest one right now. A couple of Drakes do go to Nocturne, and it is Hextech Soul. So certainly still a world where
Diable's hell.
They pick that up. Yeah, it's not fun to play in Ezreal Karma.
No. Especially no one behind. Now they are fishing for something here, top lane on Scout.
I mean, they're so strong. They're just going to press their buttons as, yep, there's the charm on top of it. Raptor getting pretty low, and the execute does come through after the fact from the grave.
I think there might have been a timing for Raptor to flash out, but I think the execute kind of caught him off guard. You can't flash from the distance of the execute, but he flashed to avoid that last tower hit, then maybe could have lived.
Yeah.
But either way, honestly, a decent answer back from Scout to get a kill in that situation, but still just kind of shows that BNK FEARX can just kind of see target, kill target in this game. 5-0-2 now for VicLa.
And Sponge, interestingly, what he's doing is he went for that big dive-in bot that just brought the whole team very far down the lane. It was not great. But after the fact, he's like, okay, Raptor's off the mat, I get the one Drake. Okay, he died in the top lane dive, I get the Rift Herald. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna objective max now. As now he's gonna ult on in, there's the combo. The polymorph comes in, and there's really nothing that Kellin can do except position better. As that is not gonna line up from Kingen. It's getting a little scrappy.
A nice pickup though from Nocturne. The thing is, they're not that far behind in gold. We talked about some of the strengths of their team fight. They have 2 dragons in pocket and this Herald now. It's a Hextech Soul. Definitely a big win con for them. And we'll see what they're able to do in the next few minutes before that dragon now. I think, Scout, you may be in trouble. There's no ult on the Vi though, and that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just drop an ult on a clear and just try to go for the kill. Maybe assume that Raptor would not be down here. As now he's going to look for Raptor, who flashes into the wall! And he is barely not going to get executed. There he is, okay?
That was pretty close. Not the best flash from Raptor, if I'm being honest.
I've seen worse, but yeah.
나 공 2초, 공 2초. 공 볼게, 공 볼게.
It's just saying the timing of his ult.
안 좋아. 죽네.
Yeah, no, it's hard to say if you could have flashed earlier. Either way. And here, not much Kellin could have done under any circumstance. That's a crazy amount of burst from the Locke. And then, I think the thing is, I think player's not quite at the threshold, and Scout used all his basic abilities to get him that low. So I think he was like, oh, I'll just bait the alcove. I'll wait for a window with my cooldowns to burst someone out. In fairness, was pretty close. Now, we do have the Medjais coming through for VicLa. So, Ahri is very strong at this point of the game.
He's the majority of the gold lead right now for BNK FEARX. I mean, they have gold leads elsewhere as they're looking now for clears. The flash comes first as he is going to go golden with the arm guard. I don't know if it helps him. The equalizer, though, huge amount of damage into Sponge, but the Ambessa just dives away, dashes, and gets out of there. Taeyoon looking for the snipe, but they're actually moving forward. That was so close, by the way. Would have been a nice kill for Taeyoon to pick up, but instead it's just a turret here for Nocturne.
And this is such tremendous value because you got Clear's flash, you got his Seeker's arm guard, and you're able to pick up a ton of gold here for Kingen on the back of not just that tower, but these plates as well.
240.
So that gold lead less than 1,000 now. You've taken away some of Clear's massive tools. Like, think how impactful in that bot lane fight his flash was. That's now gone. The Seekers is gone, which is like the Rumble special where you stasis as you're burning with the flame spitter out. And I mean, Clear tried everything to survive, and unfortunately just didn't even really burn much from the other side. Like, both of these two kept their flashes. And now as we look towards that fight in 50 seconds, third dragon it would be for Nocturne. I'm feeling a lot less sure of them than I was before. I will say, Taeyoon getting that 2-arm spike is pretty nice.
Yeah, it does feel very good, and I mean,
Kingen has Eclipse and more, and there's a lot of magic damage on BNK FEARX. Like, not just the solo laners, but Ezreal does a lot of magic damage too. He's going to be really hard to kill.
Yeah, it's It's definitely a good call, I would say. I mean, this Ambessa, there's so many threats on the side of Nongshim that at the end of the day, you know, he can kind of just put his face into it and, you know, maybe the Locke cleans up with the Yunara or...
Yeah, you know when Nocturne. They added the extra magic resist to all the AD carries, you know, Ezreal's win rate dropped the most because he does have a lot of magic damage that suffered from that. So obviously he does a lot of physical, but does have a good amount of magic damage in the kit, so Kingen optimizing against that. Yeah, they're just opting out of this one instead, looking to get some more gold. That's the thing, is that it would be fantastic to get that dragon, but they're not under pressure when they have the advantage in terms of those dragons. They do pick up a lot of gold for it. Kingen now 1,200 ahead. Now
BNK FEARX are trying to force something, but now Raptor in a lot of trouble. They do get the ult down, and finally it's just a trade as now the Ambessa lines it up, finds clear, as Kingen is just so tanky. Look at him, we were just talking about this, as the charm even comes in, the Mikhail's is there, the burst on the Yunara is as well. The exhaust on the Kingen is going to go so hard here, as VicLa's still alive, he's getting the reset, picks up the triple, and now Scout just trying to get away, barely will be able to do so, but VicLa's 8-0.
He's so strong now, 24 stack Medjai's there. And honestly, Diable goes down without using summoners. Scout didn't really have an impact in that fight. And once you start losing the fight against this composition, with an Ahri this fed, the momentum just snowballs so hard. We see here, they commit heavily to stop the Vive from playing the game, but they just trade 1-for-1. The ult comes out here from Scout, but unfortunately it actually times out before anyone really gets low enough. VicLa's fishing here for the plays. And the charm gets cleansed, but then the orb deception just catches Diable, takes him out, he doesn't expect the damage, and he doesn't use his sums. Kingen essentially just runs out of cooldowns on the back end, and VicLa is just doing an insane amount of damage. I think for me, kind of the bigger mistakes, Diable not seeing the orb deception coming, just getting caught off guard by it, didn't use summoners, and Scout just did not do anything in that fight. And now we also have the Bloodletters. I was just talking about this being a magic damage heavy composition.
Yeah.
VicLa going for a shred item that helps his whole team. So when he's obviously getting a lot of procs off his W and his Malignant, stacking that pretty quickly.
Yeah, what happened to him? I don't know. We do have Sponge also, just going to throw up a Paranoia and goes for the big flash over the wall.
It's Terry again, and they're going to go over to him and pretty easily just clear this one up. Sponge, low health, in base, not going to get anyone here. Just has a Hex Gates to help.
You just saw him walk in the bush.
Wow.
That is the raid boss. You can't face check him.
This does buy time for Sponge to get there. You know, I'm not saying it was a good thing that Kingen did that, but at least Sponge is relatively close, but with no ult, no flash. How are you reaching the pit?
Yeah, I don't think the walk in a straight line is going to work here. Although, no, they're not going to try it, and it's probably a good call. BNK FEARX, though, going to get a lot of momentum from this. At least the mid turret goes to Nongshim, but that's all they're going to get. And the lead, again, it's basically just Ahri.
I'm a little worried. VicLa might be close to Rabadon's. And when that happens...
Yeah, you got a second rod before we went into this replay.
Just deleted. And Sponge has to get this flash to disengage. Spins a Paranoia to try and stop some follow-up. Yeah, there's just a ton of damage. The Morph Mortius shield, honestly, looking pretty small when it comes to not really helping Kingen too much there. Oh, and speaking of Kingen,
he does have some follow-up here from his team.
Yeah, they don't actually connect enough damage onto him, so he's able to disengage from that. They burn 2 big ults from BNK FEARX. Nice pickup, honestly.
Does VicLa need more damage? Maybe he should have just gone for Zhonya's. I don't know if he needs a Rabadon's. I mean, it certainly makes Ahri's damage a bit more consistent.
I think it gets to the point where you just like ult and W and someone's just taking so much damage. This flank is coming in.
Well, he's going to have some follow-up. They're going in, and VicLa is getting pretty low, but yeah, the follow-up a little bit late as now finally Scout trying to do something. They do take down the Ahri, and Diable's getting a little bit of peel here as they're trying to go in. He's going to get a kill.
He's doing it.
Goes into Taeyoon and just dies. So close, though, as it is a double kill for Taeyoon, and a big fight win once again for BNK FEARX.
But honestly, I don't think it's so bad. It's 3 kills for BNK FEARX, 2 for Nongshim, but they killed the Giga Fed Ahri.
Yeah.
That's 10 Medjay stacks at over 1,000 gold. So Kingen gets CC'd immediately, but there's no ult for VicLa, which makes him a lot weaker. Scout finds his window to go in, and even though he dies, he trades his life, and that's 1,090 gold. That's more than worth it. It's so close, though, to Diable popping off. Taeyoon did a good job of finishing off the kill. But I would say this fight specifically, Nongshim can be happy with the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they were going to be able to get more off the back of that. It does look like BNK FEARX do have position on the Drake, so at least they have that. A couple of Drakes in their pocket is very likely. You see Nongshim not even coming over here. And they still have the gold lead, but yeah, now you get a lot of gold onto Scout. And, I mean, you've still got this 3-item Yunara.
Yeah, but the third item's more, which kind of slows some of your damage progression. Like, you're a long way from, like, IE and your Mortal Reminder or LDR. So, I can understand the reasoning behind it, but it does mean you are a bit less threat for the time being. Second dragon picked up by BNK FEARX. So now even in terms of those, and the Baron does time out now.
I do feel like with the Maw, he is going to be quite tanky with the Wild Growth as well, if they use it on him. As most of the time, they are going to be looking to use it onto Sponge, and they tried to do that onto VicLa, who didn't even have to flash. So, it does not work out. Lehends,
keep running!
Here, yeah, he's just a sad Lulu. They're trying to get a kill on a Raptor here, and they do, but Scout immediately dies as well. And now the follow-up is here on a Diable, who's just trying to kite it out. He's doing quite a lot of damage, but eventually this will run out. Double kill comes through for VicLa. And kind of a half-hearted play from Nongshim to get VicLa does not work out.
Yeah, the game plan was Lehends going to flash polymorph VicLa, so you can't dash away before the fear comes in. You kill the Ahri, and BNK FEARX feels so much weaker. I can see the theory behind it. Very hard to do in practice, and VicLa responded immediately. He's now back to 25 stacks, has a Rabadon. You can see here, so they go for it. Lehends tries to get in range. And, I mean, even gets... Did he actually... I don't think he even got the polymorph on it.
No. I mean, he ulted, and VicLa just responded so quickly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The polymorph and the ult on the Nocturne can cause a lot of disruption, but just a good response there from VicLa.
Diable's so tanky, but he doesn't he doesn't do a lot of damage.
He's just behind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, if you look at VicLa's items now, 25 stack Medjay's, Rabadons, so fed, so strong, and just kind of capable of just one-shotting people as you ult past them. I mean, you're not going to do all the damage yourself, but it's a lot of consistent damage now. There's so much AP.
Okay, they're trying to go in on the Lehends. They are going to eventually kill Scout, as you mentioned, kind of just a drive-by from VicLa. And they do get the kill. It's a traded junglers. So now Equalizer's going to come down. Kingen very much cut off from the rest of the team. Exhaust also going to come down. He's just trying to blast on his way away from this one. But I think eventually he'll just catch him.
Just keep running, Kingen. Never stop.
Okay, maybe not. Yeah, just keep going.
Oh, I think if he gets his shield up and then Oh no, VicLa's there. It's going to be really hard. I think the TP's going to come in here.
Blast?
Clear can't stop it. Clear can't stop it.
Yeah.
They needed VicLa in range for the charm.
All right. Another win for Blastcone.
Really happy about that one, aren't you?
Yes, very happy.
Well,
I love that mechanic.
a minute 50 until that next dragon. Baron's up and available now, well, in 10 seconds. So a potential cause for concern here. And a Seeker's Arm God has been picked up by VicLa. So a lot of these plays we saw Nongshim attempting to shut down the Ahri were already thin margins. And they just kind of became even more difficult. Not kind of, they did become more difficult.
Yeah. You see Raptor.
Raptor and the Raptors? He's pretending that he's part of that family of Raptors. But he has his own family of Raptors.
How can they tell the difference? Honestly, I don't know.
Hard to distinguish.
I mean, it says Raptor above his health bar, so I would be fooled.
It's like the Carrier Gromp moment.
Yeah.
You know, you just walk in there like, well, it doesn't look like anything to me.
Yeah. How could they possibly know?
Okay, BNK FEARX posturing around the Baron area. GA now picked up for Raptor. And it's 45 seconds until the prospect of a third Hextech. Oh my god. Oh, you can just, I feel like Clear might just throw Equalizer on top.
80 carries in this series so far. Not having a lot of fun. Diable's like, I bought this mod to be tanky, guys. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Well, is just opting to stay around and heal up. Dragon's up very soon. And there's no vision from either team in the Dragon area. It's pretty sparse. So the danger is if you head over towards that Dragon, it's not Soul, and BNK FEARX is just moving to the Baron immediately. Now Nocturne have a choice. They can try and rush in and contest, potentially face check. They could have also gone to the Dragon. They opt to go for the face check.
Yeah, and somebody has to do it. It will be Scout. There's the combo. They do look for VicLa, and a lot is thrown into him, and he just goes golden. Scout is going to die, and VicLa lives until the very end. The flash charm is beautiful, and that'll be the end of this one, as VicLa says, you did not respect my Ahri. Could have just banned it, and they elected not to. And BNK FEARX look fantastic. 15 kills on VicLa.
15 kills, 25 pages in the Medjais, a statement game from VicLa here. And yeah, I think it was pretty telegraphed the composition they were going to go for. Nocturne let them get it, and they live to regret it. Well, maybe Scout doesn't actually.
Yes, die to regret it. And that'll be the end of this one. Nexus goes down. We do have a series on our hands. As after game one, we weren't 100% sure, but I think both teams making it possible here, especially VicLa,